Hello everyone, Oliver Draper here, Training and Showroom Manager for Hikvision North UK. What I'm going to show you today is the latest addition to our Ultra Series facial recognition terminal, and this is our 680 series. So we'll start by taking a look at the aesthetics of this device and what it actually looks like. So it uses an 8-inch screen. In addition to it being an 8-inch screen, it's using our 2.5D glass along with a 6mm bezel, meaning we're getting a full glass front with a very thin bezel, almost edge-to-edge screen appearance. Now this one here also has a built-in fingerprint reader. We also do a version that has no fingerprint reader should you not wish to use fingerprints. And it's also IP65 rated, so it's also suitable for certain outdoor scenarios as well. Now as I mentioned, it uses facial recognition, so built into the top there, it's got two lenses there, two cameras to be able to capture someone's face, recognise them in the system, and then authenticate them by opening and triggering the relay built into the unit to open the door. You don't want to use facial recognition. As I mentioned, there is a fingerprint reader on this device here, so you can use fingerprint to gain access. And in addition to that, there is also a built-in card reader, which is located behind the bottom part of the screen as well. So you can just tap your card onto the bottom part of the screen, and that can also gain someone access as well. Now, because it's got two lenses at the top there, it also supports what's called our anti-spoofing feature. So what it does with the two cameras, it's able to model the 3D aesthetics of someone's face to show that it's a natural face and therefore not a picture. Now when it captures someone's face, it can trigger that within 0.3 of a second, which I'll demonstrate now.
Authenticated.
So as we see there, I literally just put my face across there very temporarily, and at that point it triggered it and said I was authenticated. Got to the bottom there with my face, my name, and also said that I was authenticated. Now this is a picture that I've got loaded into the system at the minute, and that's the face I'm using as a stock picture, which is loaded into here to actually authenticate myself. However, if I was to try and use a picture to gain access, it won't work.
Authentication failed.
So as we saw there, the unit failed to authenticate because it knew it wasn't a natural face, and therefore by using the live face feature with the two cameras, it therefore couldn't get the 3D mapping, and therefore it knew that someone was trying to spoof the camera. But once it detects it's a natural 3D face and someone's face is loaded into there,
authenticated,
that will work immediately. Now in addition, if someone's not authenticated, again, you can use a card reader. So I've got a card here, and there's one built to the screen. This card has not been loaded into the system, again, just to demonstrate what happens when someone is not authenticated.
authentication failed.
So again, it says there, authentication failed, and doesn't gain them access to the premises. Now, other than the aesthetics, everything else in there is pretty similar to what we already have in regards to other facial recognition terminals out there. So what makes this one different? Well, there's a few additional features in there that we don't have on our previous units. So for starters, we can customize a screensaver on there. So should you have any clients that want to put their own company logo on there, that can be loaded up on the screen, so when someone approaches it, the company logo is on there, that comes down briefly so they can see themselves, authenticates their face. Now in addition to that as well, we can actually choose what buttons we have at the bottom. So currently on this one, it's got the QR code, the call button, and also a password option to type in a password if someone wants to gain access via password. However, we can choose to remove them buttons or just have whichever buttons we choose as well. Now in addition to that as well, we can also choose to actually remove the person's details. So when they are authenticated, we can say we don't want to display the person's face, nor do we want to display the person's name. So if we're concerned about privacy or anyone looking over their shoulder, we want to ensure that person's privacy therefore doesn't show their picture, and we can also have it so it removes their name as well. Now the voice prompts on here, it currently says authenticated when it allows someone access, and it currently says authentication failed when it doesn't gain access. Now we can also change that as well in the system, because this device allows us to configure this through a simple web browser. So we can use a web browser to log into the system, and we can also type in our own phrase, what we want it to say when someone gains access, or when someone's access has been rejected. Again, we can speak it another phrase. So what we'll do, we'll take a look at them settings of the web browser, and let's see how we can tweak this and put some personal settings on there. Okay, so I'm logged into this device now through the web browser. I've just gone in simply via the IP address there, and I'm now logged into this terminal. So I'm going to go to configuration at the top, and let's see how we can change some of these settings. So if I go to video and audio to start with, and then go to prompt at the top, here I have the facility to change what is actually said when someone is authenticated into the system. So currently it just says authenticated, but if I wanted to, I could type in my own phrase in here. To Hikvision. And then below at the bottom here, currently if someone's not authenticated, it says authentication failed. So I can keep it as that, full stop. And I can say please a member staff. Okay, and then save that one in there. So currently what I've got saved there now, so when they're authenticated, there's welcome to Hikvision, and when someone's not authenticated, there's authentication failed, please contact a member of staff. So we've got all the usual image settings under here as well. We can set different access control schedules. Under the video/audio where I was a moment ago as well, we can also add in different schedules for different voice prompts to be done at different times should we wish. And if we go down to where it says notice publication, here is where we can actually upload our own screensaver. So I just click the little plus mark there, and then I can choose a picture of my choosing, which I may have, and then click save, and that's now put in there. And I can put up to 8 pictures in there should I wish. I've just simply used a normal Caribbean background just to show that. That's now saved in there. So let's go over and take a look at the terminal and see exactly what it looks like. So we've now put them settings on there. As we can see, we've now got the personalized screensaver on there. And as I mentioned on the actual demonstration there, we can now put up to 8 pictures onto there to scroll through in sequence should you wish. Again, put your company logo on there, put your client's logo on there. Just makes it a little bit more personal to the premises or to that business, what they're wanting. Now also, as we did earlier, we also actually put our own voice prompts in there when someone's authenticated or if authentication's failed. So let's have a listen and see what they do now.
Welcome to Hikvision.
So we got the welcome to Hikvision when authentication was accepted, and now when authentication is not accepted, again, I've got my card here which is not enrolled onto this system, and we'll see what happens now.
Authentication failed. Please contact a member of staff.
So we got that additional prompt in there as well when authentication was failed. Again, the card reader is located just behind the screen there. It supports the Felicia and the MyFair card, but it now also supports the Des-Fire card as well. Again, this one here has a fingerprint reader. You don't have to have the fingerprint reader. We do one that doesn't have that in there should you not want to use fingerprints. So the unit can store up to 100,000 faces. We can store 100,000 cards into there and 10,000 fingerprints would be our Ultra series. In addition, we can also store 150,000 events into the device itself. This device here is a simple PoE as well, so it's just a one cable solution to put into there and doing the power and data over the single cable. We do a version as well that supports Wi-Fi. We also have a version as well that supports our 3G and 4G depending on what your application solution requires. So what we'll do, we're going to have a look at some of the settings that you can do actually on the terminal itself and just see how we can tweak things just a little bit. And there we go. So we have got an array of settings we can do in there, from the users, the access control features, time and attendance. So for example, if we go into the access control side of things, we've got the different sort of authentication modes that we're choosing to want to use. Likewise, we can enable the time and attendance mode in there, which is currently disabled. If we go into the basic settings here, we can change the shortcut keys. So currently at the bottom is displaying the call feature, in the middle we have the QR code and the password option. However, we turn these off, so we just have the call button, go back to the main menu, and we now see we only have the call option there at the bottom, so we can tailor those if we want to. Let's go back into units again. Okay, so back into here. As I mentioned, we can change all the shortcut keys. I'm just going to turn those ones back on there for just for a moment. If we go back under the biometric sections, we can change some of the things it does regarding the actual face recognition as an indoor, outdoor application. We even have the option there for hard hat detection as well. So if you're installing it in any construction sites or where places where you feel people need to wear hard hats, it does the hard hat detection. So we can turn that feature on, and it says prompt and not to open the door. So if I was to actually stand in front of it now, obviously not wearing a hard hat,
You should wear a hot hat.
it then gives me the prompt telling me that I should be wearing a hard hat in there. Again, just go back into the unit, go back into there, and obviously just turn that feature off just for now. And again, you can go into the maintenance and you can see the system information. You can also see the capacity of this device, as I mentioned, 100,000 users and faces in there, 100,000 cards, 150,000 events, and 10,000 fingerprints. And it tells you what's currently being used in there as well. So there we have it, a truly amazing bit of kit for your access control solutions. Should you want any further information on this device, please go to the link below, alternatively scan the QR code that will send you to our online data sheet. You can read further information and details on what the device can actually do. And as always, contact your distributor and they'll provide you the same information as well as the associated prices. Thank you.